Hello, amazing souls, and welcome to another weekly wave translation. My name is Anka, and today I'm taking this video from a very special place. I'm deeper into the mountains. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see a beautiful mountain peak with snow still. And maybe not 5 minutes ago, as I was setting up and kind of grounding and centering, there was a fox running through this meadow. Yes, today is a beautiful day. This is my own practice of tuning into the wave, pulling some cards. I'm just sharing the camera and inviting you in this sharing, but please take what resonates, especially today. I feel today's energy and theme is very much in line with the theme of my purpose, my life's calling, and now I can call it this. It's nice to speak so freely. At the beginning, this felt like very science fiction, and later I think that was actually the realization of, oh, it is something that I'm actually tapping into. I'm channeling something, because there's no way I could have made something like this up. But I'm even calling now my life feels very much like a project. It feels very impersonal, even though I am having the experience, but it feels like a discovery. It feels like an R&D project that we're collectively working on. And this little bit of context is necessary because of what is coming through, because more and more now I think we are realizing how intertwined our development is. I feel like up to now, recently, we've been working more so on the individual and our individual growth and our skills to be able to channel and to be aware and to be sensitive enough to each other. But now we are stepping into what I also call kind of like the beehive collective. We're starting to understand that we're moving in such unison, like this one mind, one heart type energy. And today, that the reading is so much about that. So another little piece of background, I've been working with what I call this fabric of reality. And this is part of the fundamental structure that we're all building. And it's probably part of this new earth, but terminology doesn't necessarily come to me like that, in that type of thing, like a new earth. But it is yeah, I guess it is. It's just words, different words. The perception is that in order for us to create physical type of structures, right, pentacle type energy, fundamentally we have to create a new layer of perception, new layers of belief systems from which to operate from as a base of reality, right, as a new normal. And I view myself also as a technician combined with a system analyst, because I'm so cosmic and collective, and I see the systemic thing. But we're all working on this piece, on this web, on this new fabric of reality, because in order for us to create something tangible, my reality has to match with your reality enough, right? It has to be in the same frequency level for us to create a system, right? And whatever that means. But all systems need to be revamped, from education, the medical industry, business. All of these have been taken to quite a corrupt level, right? And they're starting, financial system, how did I forget about that? They're starting to kind of not hold true for us. We're starting to not believe in them. We have started a long time ago, but now it's like more and more we're like, no, I really don't want to participate in that. and what's an alternative, and those things are really starting to rise. But those things have to rely on a belief system structure, a perception of reality that's behind that, right? It's the new mental structure that's based on a higher, I like to call it morality, right? It's a new trust, and it's not so much a trust within each other, it's a trust in love, right? It's a trust in truth. And because we're all trusting in that, by default we trust each other. But that fabric, right, we've been building that, and for the past 2 weeks now, as of today, it felt the things that we were working on integrating were more so structures of, or maybe mechanisms of facilitating integration. Because, and the reason why I'm saying it is because this first card that I got, it was interesting because the image was this flow of white energy, and then I got this card, so it's very, very similar to this, but it wasn't as together. It was a little bit more cloudy, like a very thin, it was a thin layer. This is, but it's so close. So I'm perceiving like this week we are getting pure energy from source, from the cosmic heart. But it doesn't have to be no longer translated maybe through our guides or through different layers of densities for us to be able to understand that, or for us to even receive it, for it to arrive in us and for us to understand what it was. We have access to a much more direct energetic chunk, and we no longer even have to spend time to unfold that and integrate that. We did that as a mechanism for the past 3 weeks or whatever. Maybe that's why the integration was so massive and so fundamental, because we were integrating structures through which to work with. We were not necessarily just downloading information. It was like a whole different paradigm, right? And maybe that's why that paradigm took us to a whole new level. From this level, we can work with the divine and this cosmic energy waves in a very direct way. Because, and it was so interesting, another thing, Spirit was like never before telling me what the first card, the second card, what these roles are. So it's like the first card was, if I can remember, basically what is incoming, or something like that, like what the description of the energies, followed by an action card. And it was funny because it's the Three of Pentacles, which is the works, and it's basically saying get into the purity of this message. And the way you know it is because it's so pure, so authentic, so raw, so real. But when that information comes and you're able to perceive it, don't sit on it, act, work it, and do not attach yourself to the environment maybe of your type of work. Like, for example, I'm kind of thinking, if you are working for somebody, you're employed, and you're basically paid to do a certain task. You're not necessarily choosing, you're not necessarily flowing. Don't get attached to that particular situation that you're in, because wherever you are in this week, that's where you are supposed to be to do this work. So I feel like the shuffling and the moving and the changes have been already taken care of, and wherever you have landed, that's where you are. And whatever is in front of you, don't judge it for what it is, but find the meaning, find the energy behind the task, and then perform the task. And it kind of reminded me, I had something like this happen before when I used to work and for an employer, and I was reorganizing and creating a repository for the cross-functional team that I was part of. And as I was working with that in mind, and I was literally shuffling folders and creating structures and templates for, engineering to work with purchasing and manufacturing and testing, and all these teams had to have access to the same information, or be sharing and working from same files. And I had this snippet of clarity that I was doing that in a different dimension, and it looked way different because I was working with light and energetic structures, sort of, or the things were very energetic, but it was still dense enough where it was a thing. And I realized that really there is no mundane task, right? And then even when I clean the toilet bowl, I also think that this is also not mundane, because it's how I go about it, right? What meaning I put on it. So it's basically saying, get into this flow, find the purity, and whatever it is in front of you to do, see how that purity is also in that task, and don't give it that much thought, right? Follow the flow, and maybe whatever is you're doing, even though you're being paid to do a specific task that you might have not chosen that day, right? It didn't come necessarily from your heart. That when you add this pure energy to it, you might have the power to change it, or you might bringing something that was not necessarily, the intent was not there, but then you're changing it for a greater use, and it adds such more value to it. The third card is the Five of Swords, and I love this Five of Swords in this deck, right? Because it's to me, it's a little bit different than a traditional Five of Swords, and that goes with this explanation, and it's inviting us to not overanalyze the task. It's basically saying, do not look for the patterns, do not look for the justification, or do not overanalyze this, because you're not quite seeing the whole picture. You're working with this team that you might not be aware who all these people in the team is. So it's like it kind of reminds me of the wave, right? The wave of volunteers that we're part of a starseed collective, light workers, whatever you want to call and name us, the people who are working on this project. And it's saying, if you could allow the channel and for you to do this task, because whatever we are creating, we're still working on this fundamental fabric of reality. We're working on our puzzle piece, and by us being in that flow and power and authenticity of who we are stepping into that purpose. And later I feel, again, especially with the 3 of Pentacles in a very practical way, we will see how this puzzle comes together and what the image of the puzzle is. But again, when you're working on a little thing, it's very difficult to see the big picture. So it's kind of asking us to trust this energetic wave and to step into the action so we can bring that forth into a very grounded and woven, a very manifested, that's the word. Oh, so difficult. We're basically manifesting the energy, and the task for this week is to manifest through whatever it is that we're working on. And that is just perfect. And to know that we are serving each other. We are serving a higher collective good. We're serving a new world through the action of this week. And I feel this surrender, the relaxing into it, the continuous trust of that energy is a continuation, and it probably will be. The more we relax and we act in confidence, and it's almost like we don't even have to act in confidence if we are in the now and we are feeling the purity of this energy, right? We are there. It's effortless. And the more we lean into it, the more we flow, the more we come together. I feel we're also starting to come into contact with each other. And I've started to have these, oh, there's mosquitoes. What? There's also mosquitoes. I just got bit. But we're starting to come in contact, and it's like, oh, but I know you. How do I know you? I just met you half an hour ago, and now it's like, I feel like I've known you for years. Yeah, we've been working in the astral. We've been working in the heart and in this one mind, energetically on a frequency level. I know you. I don't have a face to it, but it's like, yeah, let's finally meet each other now and figure out how to manifest this energy and bring the practicality, bring the systems in, because yeah, I feel like we're ready to step in and use them and create an ease that we're all craving. So anyway, yeah, I'm so curious, how is this resonating? How many people are resonating with this message? Because it's like I feel so many of us, right? And I'm so certain now. It's like I don't even care to have the validation, which is really nice. But again, it's just fun now. Now it's starting to finally be fun. It's lightening up. So have an amazing week. I will send you, I'll be thinking of you, I'll be working with you from this magical place that I'm in, and I'll see you next week. Bye.